Welcome to So a Gringa Can Cook. So tonight I'm going to be making a carne con papa with a tomatillo salsa. I've got my tomatoes, I've got one beef steak, half a nice size onion, I've got 2 jalapeños, 1 serrano, and just a handful of fresh peeled frozen garlic. And in my water here, I'm just going to take and put some salt. To pre-salt my water, I will also salt to taste after I've blended. And then we're just gonna dump these and try not to make a mess. Now I like to simmer these down until they are nice and tender, just to where the skin has started to crack and the peppers. All right, we are gonna go ahead and pull these off. Got my blender here. I've already got some of our chili arbors in there. Got about 5. You don't have to put those in there. You know, definitely if you're not much into spicy food, definitely hold those out. Heat, totally up to you. I used about 1.5 pounds of tomatoes plus the big beefsteak tomato. Had the 2 peppers plus the 1 serrano, and again a handful of garlic that is freshly peeled, and then I freeze it. Get it in 5-pound jugs. So if you do a lot of garlic, to me, it's the best and easiest way to do it. Now the tomatillos tend to hold a lot of water, so I'm gonna play it by ear on if I add any of that in there. Okay, so get the lid on there. This is one of the best blenders I've ever had. The NutriBullet just makes it so smooth. Alright, so I'm going to leave it about that consistency because we are going to be simmering it into some steak for dinner. So I'm just going to set that to the back, and I'll be back with you later to start working on the steak. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I've got my Yukon Gold potatoes, my half an onion from earlier, and then my marinated steak. I'm just take this out of the fridge, gonna let it sit here and kind of get to room temperature and work on these. So I'm gonna start by slicing up my onion and getting it sauteed down. I've got some oil started in the pan behind me. So here we have the onions and potatoes that were diced up just a minute ago. We've got them cooking down in a little bit of oil just to get a little bit of a brown and a cook to them. We don't want them fully cooked, but just enough to where that, you know, it won't take forever to simmer in the sauce when we add that. We're gonna continue cooking this down just a little longer, then remove it. That way we can get the steak started. I did add a little bit of a salt to this, not too much, you know, because the steak has salt on it already. The salsa was boiled with a little bit of salt in the water. I did not add more salt to that. That can be done afterwards. But you just want to make sure that you're applying flavor at every layer of your dish, not just at the final end. Got the potatoes and onions out of the pan. I've added in the steak. Just gonna get that cooked down. Gonna get this pretty much well cooked. I like it to be super tender, so cook it all the way through and then let it finish in the sauce. This again was marinated in our sazon fajita roja, adobo with sazon, and then garlic, onion powder as well. I did not add any extra salt in this. Okay, so I've added the potatoes and onions in with the steak, mix them around a little bit. We are about to mix in this beautiful green salsa. You can see the little red flakes of the chili arbol. And a little spicy. Again, if you are not a spicy person, then I would recommend holding out, especially at chili arbors, but maybe the serrano and just sticking with the jalapeno because it is not as spicy as the others. And just get that mixed in. Your salsa will darken as it cooks. It's also incorporating all of those seasonings that we put on the steak. Make sure you scrape the bottom. You want all those little bits mixed in. Those really great flavor. And then we are just going to let this cook down together for about probably 10, maybe 15 minutes. The steak is already pretty tender, even though it's not been simmered in with the sauce yet. All right, I'll be back. So after simmering for about 10, 15 minutes, the sauce has thickened considerably, and it has also changed that deeper green color. Went ahead and added a little bit more salt after trying it, but other than that, it is ready to rock and roll. It's best with a little bit of table cream on top, maybe some shredded cabbage to the side, and some tortillas, and there you go.